Morning, everyone. Today is Monday, the 29th day of Iyar. And last night we counted 44 days to the Omer. And tonight is Rosh Chodesh. Tonight begins the first day of Sivan, the day the Jewish people came together. And the Mount Sinai, Ke'ish echad belev echad, like one man with one heart. And we continue today the chapter 52 in the Tanya. And we just to recap a little what we learned yesterday we learned about the Shechina. We spoke about the three stages of the soul, the essence of the soul. I mean, they have the way the soul is in the brain, meaning this is when the soul comes in form, it draws down from the soul into a form that has potential to give the individual energy to the body. And then you have the energy that comes individually. And the truth is, in the last step can also be divided into two. Because when the energy comes from the brain into the body, the brain is the center, the nerve system, and it comes everything. So you have also is divided into two. It is that you have the general life, that the body is alive, comes the life, also, and then you have the individual energy, and that each organ needs its individual function. So all of this was said in order to bring the example that we can understand as much as we humans can understand the greatness of God. You're talking about the very essence of God, which is beyond comprehension. It is beyond any definition. And then you have what we say is the Shechina. The Shechina is this light of Hashem that has the potential to be revealed. The beginning of the revelation. In terms of the Kabbalah and the terms of the spheres, we said this is in Malchus of Atzilus. The lowest level of the highest world, the world of Atzilus, is the world of emanation where godliness is revealed. Malchus being the lowest level. And we gave it, the Alter Rebbe explained that this level has four names. The name of it, it's called the Olam, the revealed world, Alma de Isgalia. And it was named the Queen. I explained why it was named the Queen. Just like the Queen brings out and serves sort of like a bridge between the king and the people. The king being aloof on a higher level. And you have, it's also called the lower mother, the nether mother. Just like the mother gives birth, you have the higher mother is the intellect that creates the emotions, and the lower mother brings down the malchus that creates the action. And also we said it's called the Shechina. This is where divine presence dwells. And from this Shechina is derived the particular energy that comes to each individual creature. And where is this Shechina? This Shechina is the wisdom, the understanding. This is like dwells in the brain, just like in the person. The soul dwells in the brain. The brain serves as both the intellectual part of the person and also serves as the source, as the hub from where the energy for each organ. Same thing as the Shechina comes here. We're talking about the Shechina that comes of Hashem and dwells into this world, that dwells into the Moichin, into the intellectual part of the world. What is the intellectual part of the world? We'll soon say, we mentioned yesterday, this is the Torah and the mitzvahs. The Torah and the mitzvahs, these are the hub through which Hashem brought that level of godliness that cannot be defined. It's indivisible. It dwells through the Torah, and through the Torah comes the mitzvahs of Hashem, which is the will of Hashem. It comes to the rest of the world and all of the creatures in this world. And now continues the Alter Rebbe in today's lesson. Is going to say that although the Shekhinah is that level of godliness which has already the ability to dwell, meaning it has already somewhat of a connection to the world. Nevertheless, says the Alter Rebbe, that Shekhinah itself cannot be enclosed and cannot be directly connected with the creatures, with the world, with the creations, both this world and the spiritual worlds, because he says it would, if it would be revealed within the world will not exist. It will be utterly, completely nullified. Just like the sun. The sun, there is the ray of the sun. The ray of the sun, after it leaves the sun and goes out of the sun, it has its definition, its existence. This is a light, a shine, a ray that comes from the sun. But when this light, before it came out, while it is in the orb of the sun itself, there it's nullified. It doesn't have its existence. It is too powerful. So here the Alter Rebbe is going to say that it is something that needs to be understood. What does it mean? How does it work? When you have this endless light, even after it was already contracted to the form of Shekhinah, that it dwells in the world, it is still beyond limitations. And in order to come down to this world, it needs to have some form of garments to be able to filter this light, to be able to contain this light. Otherwise, the whole entire world will be completely nullified into the Shekhinah, just like the ray of the sun, while it is in its source, which is the sun. So let's see what the Alter Rebbe tells us today. We're going to see inside. There we go. Says the Alter Rebbe, Aval HaShechina Atzma, She Reishis HaGilui VeIkoi. He says, but as far as the Shechina itself, namely the origin and the core of the manifestation, Ma she'ein soiv baruch hu meir la'olamais v'bchinas gilui. He says the beginning, the origin of the Shekhinah, whereby the blessed Ein Sof illuminates the world in a revealed form. V'mekol kol hamshochas ve'achayus shebekol ha'olamis. And this is the source of all the streams of vitality in the worlds. So it says this Shekhinah itself, shekol achayus shebe'em ein rak oira mispashet mimeno k'oira mispashet me'ashemesh. It says their entire vitality being no more than the light which is diffused from it, like the light radiated from the sun. This says the Alter Rebbe, Iyef shalo oilamis lisbelo lekabel oir shchinosa. Concerning the Shekhinah itself, the source of all vitality for the worlds cannot endure or receive the light of this Shekhinah. The world cannot receive the light that it might actually dwell and enclose itself in them without a garment to screen and conceal its light from them. In order for the world to be able to receive the light, it must have a garment, so to speak, that conceals the intensity of the light to be able to sustain and not be completely nullified. Shelo yizbatlu b'metzius legamre b'mekoirom kebitul oir hashemesh b'mekoiroi beguf hashemesh she'ein nira sham oir ze rak etzem guf hashemesh bilvad. So he said, so that they may not become entirely nullified and lose their identity within their source, just as the light of the sun is nullified in its source, namely in the sun itself, where this light cannot be seen, but only the integral mass of the sun itself. So too, since the Shekhinah is the source of vitality of the world, of the whole creation, all of which receives but a ray of the Shekhinah, then if the Shekhinah itself, the actual source, would be manifest, all created beings would be nullified in that source. Their situation would be exactly similar to the sun's ray as they are found within the orb of the sun, where they are completely nullified. In order for the Shekhinah to dwell within the world and their creatures, there must therefore be a garment. We need to have a garment which serves to conceal its light. Only then can creation receive the Shekhinah and not be nullified out of existence. So what is that garment? So this we're going to leave for tomorrow. Tomorrow the Alter Rebbe is going to explain how the garment to be able to get the Shekhinah, that divine presence, divine light, intense light, to be able to come and bring down to this world. So on the one hand, we receive the light from the Shekhinah, and yet we are not nullified. This is actually the Torah and the mitzvahs. So tomorrow we'll be focused more on this part, what it means. The garments is the Torah and the mitzvahs, which needs to be explained properly. Why? Because we're saying over here that the Shekhinah is too intense, very powerful, very, for us creatures to be able to receive such a light will be nullified within the sun. So how exactly is a garment going to help? If you wear a garment, isn't the garment itself also going to be nullified within the Shekhinah, within the light of the Shekhinah? So this we shall continue to explain with Hashem tomorrow. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem. And we should have a good Chodesh.
Good Chodesh.